Good morning and welcome, Larimer County. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. This is our Administrative Matters meeting. Happy New Year to all of us. May we have a good year, a blessed year. Time to roll up our sleeves and work together and get the job done more than we more than we normally do. Uh, at this time, I'll call the meeting to order at 9 a.m. My name is John Kafalis, Larimer County Commissioner. I'm joined by Commissioner Stevens from District 2, excuse me, and Commissioner Shattuck McNally is out of the office today with family. Also joined by our Deputy Clerk from the Clerk and Recorder's Office, Tessa Beatty, County Manager, and folks from the Public Affairs Department. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for the folks assembled in the audience. As is our tradition, we'll begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. And again, it's really good to see everyone. It's a new year. It's kind of hard to believe, but here we are, and we will continue to work hard on behalf of the people of Larimer County. We now go into public comment, the next item on our agenda. As a quick reminder, public comment is an opportunity for folks to provide input to the commissioners in a public setting. They can do that here in person or over the phone, or certainly they can contact us via email whenever they please to do so. I believe, according to Michelle, there is one person who has signed up for public comment this morning via telephone. So, Michelle, would you connect with Mr. Sarner, with Larry? Thank you.
Hold on, we're going to try this again. Sorry, Commissioner, for some reason it's not. The buttons aren't acknowledging. Okay, let's try this one more time. Yep. I think I got it. Hold on just a second.
Great. Excellent.
Hello.
Good morning, Larry. This is John Kafalis, Chair Pro Tem at the moment. I'm joined by Commissioner Kristen Stevens. I believe you signed up for public comment, and I'm certain that you know the drill. You'll have up to 3 minutes to provide us with your input. Thank you, sir, and Happy New Year.
Yes, well, Happy New Year to you as well. I hope it becomes happy for everyone in Larimer County. I wanted to address the ongoing brewing disaster with the mill levy situation and the reassessment windfall. The assessor came back with the numbers shortly before the Christmas holiday, and we have, and I've looked at them, and there is a substantial problem that you are addressing with the people of Larimer County. The normal growth that you would have from your mill levy would have been $165 million worth of revenue, okay? Which was a 5.63% value, or 5.63% increase over last year. It's hard to think of it as last year now, but it is. And but if you continue with the present mill levy of 22.4 mills plus, you are going to have a windfall of 3.5 mills, which amounts to $30.5 million that you will be getting that you would not normally expect to get. That's what the reason we call it a windfall. And if you retain your mill levy at that place, you are going to continue it every year from now on. In other words, you're moving up your spending by $30.5 million and for this year and every year after that. That is, quite frankly, after you got some commentary last month by 150 people who emailed you in, and another 10 or so who actually commented in person, that you have a lot of people who are quite aware of what you're doing, and your notion of having a small temporary decrease, which is backfilled by the state, means that you want to keep all $30.5 million, and you want to spend it, and you want to bring your government up to a new plateau of spending, and that is, frankly, unacceptable to the people. Certain of it.
Closing statement.
I guess it'll have to be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your input. Michelle, anyone else has signed up via the telephone?
No, Commissioner.
All right, then I'll check to see if there's anyone here in person who may wish to offer public comment but may not have signed up on the clipboard. I don't believe so. Therefore, we will close the public comment period. And Commissioner Stevens, would you like to comment regarding what we just heard?
Sure. I just want to thank Mr. Sarner for staying involved in this issue. That number is not correct, and the $30 million that's not the right number of the additional. And so and in fact, we actually are waiting for some numbers from the assessor. Nothing's been verified yet at this point. So I don't know if the county manager wants to speak to kind of what the correct number is, and or how Mr. Sarner can find more information. But we are certainly not keeping a windfall. We're certainly not increasing government. We have very few full-time employees that we're adding on to this budget, and so just wanted to counter some of the things that Mr. Sarner was saying with some facts.
And I think maybe these are complicated issues, and I wonder if it might be helpful to have our budget and performance director give Mr. Sarner a call and talk through some of these issues, because I think there is some confusion around what the numbers are and what government costs to operate.
Thank you. I think that would be really helpful.
Thank you both. And the only thing I'll add very quickly is that this coming Thursday, January 4th, we have our Wellington Community Conversation from 7:30 to 9 a.m. at the T-Bar Inn in Wellington. And we'll have two folks from our budget office who will be providing an update on where we're at in the budget process with the assessed value that was submitted, as well as the mill levy certifications that I think will take place on around January 10th or so. So that's an opportunity for folks to engage. Thank you, colleagues. We'll now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is an annual activity that we do here, and that is the board reorganization for 2024. by way of a tiny bit of context, typically in terms of the chair pro tem and other responsibilities, we rotate that annually. And guess what? It's my turn to be chair, assuming that we have a favorable vote this morning. So at this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Stevens if you would offer the first motion, which has to do with appointment of the chair.
Yes, Mr. Let's see, Chair Pro Tem. I move to appoint Commissioner Kafalis as chair for 2024 and authorize him to buy and sell real estate upon approval of the board.
Thank you. Thanks, Commissioner. I'm honored. It's more responsibility. It's an important job to do, and so I will do my utmost to carry out my responsibilities. Any further discussion? Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank, I know that Chair Shattuck McNally is not present today, but just wanted to thank her for her service as chair. It is extra work. It's a lot of work preparing for meetings and running meetings and being present and being attentive to all the different demands of a meeting. So I just want to thank her for her work in the past year and look forward to Commissioner Kafalis's term as chair, and knowing that I will probably maybe be next in line should I be reelected. Thank you.
Great. I appreciate you very much offering those comments. At this time, hearing no further discussion, there's a motion on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
That passes 2-0, noting that Commissioner Shattuck McNally is indeed excused. The next motion is appointment of the chair pro tem, and I believe I can make that motion. I move to appoint Commissioner Kristen Stevens as the chair pro tem for 2024 and authorize her to buy and sell, excuse me, real estate in the absence of the chair upon approval of the board. Would you like to make a nomination speech or anything like that?
No, just happy to accept this nomination and happy to serve in this role and happy to support you as in your work as chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. And again, it's a team effort. We're all in this together, and I'm grateful to be part of this team, and certainly with my two fellow commissioners. No further discussion. A motion on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0, one excused. We have a third motion, and this has to do with human resources policy problem solving. So the county manager, I believe, and the county attorney directly report to the commissioners, and this is a process whereby if there are concerns that staff raise, it allows for the commissioners to be involved in the problem-solving aspect of that, and that is what this motion is about. Anything you wish to add, County Manager or Lorenda?
I think this is really important because
Thank you.
the attorney and I do report directly to you. So if any of our direct reports have concerns about what we're doing or how we're conducting ourselves, this is the designated person on the board who would hear these kind of issues and decide how to go forward. Typically, it's the chair, but it has not always been the chair.
Great. Thank you kindly. Anything you want to add, Commissioner Stevens?
No, just I think it makes sense for it to be the chair, and so I will be nominating you for that role
You want to?
as chief problem solver.
So will you offer the motion, please?
I will. I move to appoint the board chair, Commissioner John Kafalis, as the person responsible for receiving and reviewing any formal problem-solving request filled by the direct reports to the county manager or county attorney.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That also passes 2-0. One individual, one commissioner excused. We'll now move on to the next item on the agenda, approval of the minutes. Commissioner Stevens, I guess you're the person to offer all the motions this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the minutes for the week of December 18th, 2023.
Great. Any further discussion, any changes or edits or anything like that? All those in favor?
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Moving right along, this is where we hear about the upcoming week, Commissioner's schedule. I believe this is yours, Michelle.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Here's your guys' draft schedule for the week of January 8th through the 13th of 2024. On Monday, January 8th at 8 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will attend the Behavioral Health Policy Council meeting. It is a hybrid meeting. At 8 a.m., Commissioner Stevens will participate in the virtual Transportation Commissioner Coordination meeting. At 11 a.m., there is a work session for an update regarding the Climate Smart and Future Ready program. At 12 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Forest Health Council Leveraging Resources Committee meeting. At 1:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources. At 3 p.m., you will have land use items with the Development Review Team. That is a hybrid meeting. And at 6 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will present to the Moms Demand Action meeting in Fort Collins. On Tuesday, January 9th, we will have Administrative Matters, which is this meeting in this room at 9 a.m., followed by Legal Matters with the County Attorney. At 1:30 p.m., you'll have Administrative Direction to County Management. At 4 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual South Platte Basin Roundtable meeting. And at 5:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Environmental and Science Advisory Board meeting, which is a hybrid meeting. On Wednesday, January 10th at 8 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Workforce Development Board meeting. It is hybrid as well. At 12 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual National Association of Counties Environment, Energy, and Land Use meeting. At 12 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Agricultural Advisory Board meeting, which is a hybrid meeting. At 3:30 p.m., there will be mill levy certification for the 2023 tax year and 2024 budget year. At 6 p.m., the commissioners and the Planning Commission will have a joint work session. On Thursday, January 11th at 7:30 a.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the Fort Collins Downtown Development Authority Board meeting, and that's in Fort Collins. At 11 a.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens will attend the Solid Waste Policy Advisory Council debrief meeting. At 11:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Larimer County Interagency Oversight Group meeting. At 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Office on Aging Advisory Council meeting. That is a hybrid meeting. At 3 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Finance Committee meeting. At 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the U.S. Highway 34 Coalition meeting. That's a hybrid meeting. At 5:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Loveland Fire Rescue Authority badge pinning ceremony in Loveland. At 6 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the North Front Range Metropolitan Planning Organization Planning Council meeting, and that is in Berthoud. At 6 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Overland Mountain Bike Association 2023 Appreciation Party in Fort Collins. And then on Friday, January 12th, Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Forest Health Council Legislative Committee meeting. At 11:30 a.m., they will have Commissioners Club luncheon here in Fort Collins. At 12 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Housing, Fiscal Reform, and Public Health/Human Services Committee meeting. On Saturday, January 13th, Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the Lowport community. Guests will be Larimer County Clerk and Recorder Tina Harris, who will discuss the 2024 elections. That community conversation is Mio Mai Pai in LaPorte. And then at 4 p.m. on Saturday, January 13th, Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Youth Homeless Prevention Fundraising Dinner in Fort Collins. That is all.
Great. Thank you very much, Michelle. Commissioner Stevens, any feedback?
Yeah, just one correction for me. On Monday, January 8th, the Transportation Commissioner Coordination meeting, those were scheduled for the previous Transportation Commissioner. The new commissioner doesn't like to meet at 8 a.m. Monday. Might have a conflict or just doesn't want to do that. So we've rescheduled those meetings, so I will not be at that meeting that morning.
Great, thank you. I don't have any additional comments. Michelle, thank you very much for your work.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the next item in the agenda, which is the consent agenda. And again, as a reminder to folks, the consent agenda is where we approve a variety of items that are primarily administrative, routine items, typically ones that do not involve any level of controversy, etc. I'll highlight mostly the reference to the item, but if people want more details, they can go to the county and website and read the 186 pages of the consent agenda if they wish. With that said, another thing that's important is the commissioners have the opportunity to pull an item off of the consent agenda if it's determined that there needs to be a more robust discussion in public. Many of these things are things that we've been considered and provided direction on. So with that, I will begin. And the first item on the consent agenda for today, January 2nd, 2024, is an abatement, petition for abatement, refund of taxes for a particular parcel, which upholds the assessor's value of $233,900 for tax year 2022. Moving on, there are six agreements on the consent agenda. The first one is the Larimer County Community Justice Alternatives Contract number 2024.001 for services with Summit Stone Health Partners. The term of this contract is for 1 year, January 1st of 2024 through the end of the year. It is between the county and Summit Stone Health Partners. The dollar amount is approximately $323,000, and overall the scope of services will include providing behavioral health care services for folks that are involved with our community justice alternatives, those who are uninsured or underinsured, focus on folks in the competency process, jail reentry, case management services, and mental health evaluations for juvenile court and community justice alternatives. The next agreement is a notice of grant requirements. There are two of these. Gindler South. This is from between our Department of Natural Resources and the Rocky Mountain Bird Conservancy regarding properties that the county has been able to secure conservation easements. And this is a collaborative effort. The Rocky Mountain Bird Conservancy secured a grant from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and it's basically to work together to monitor migratory bird patterns and all of that. The first one is the parcel is Gindler South. Again, this is a conservation easement. The total dollar amount is $1.1 million, and that is more in terms of in-kind matches for all the grant properties. The second one related to this topic is the I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but the Resuig, north and south. Again, similar collaboration with the Larimer County Rocky Mountain Bird Conservancy. They secured a grant, and this is to look at grassland bird monitoring on our open spaces, which are protected through conservation easements. Moving on to the fourth agreement, professional services agreement, P 23-23, building support equipment services between the county and a company called Computer Sites Incorporated. The total dollar amount is approximately $145,000 for annual maintenance as needed equipment, and this has to do with data processing, making sure that everything is working with regard to our servers, heating, ventilation, electrical distribution systems, backup systems, etc. The fifth agreement is Colorado Fostering Success Voucher Program. There was a bill in the legislature in this past legislative session, 2023, that provided some funding for case management as well as access to additional housing vouchers for youth that may be transitioning out of the foster care system. This is an agreement between the Matthews House and Larimer County Human Services. The dollar amount is approximately $158,000, and the terms of this particular agreement are from December 15th of 2023 through June 30th of 2024. Moving on to appointments, there are two appointments. Recommended appointment to the Horseshoe View Estates North Public Improvement District. Um, an individual, George Garclavs, appointed to a full term for this particular PID beginning today and ending November 30th, 2027. The next appointment is to the Lyons Regional Library Board. Catherine Gregory, full term appointment to the Regional Library District Board beginning today and ending January 1st of 2027. Moving on, there are two deeds of dedication between the county and property owner regarding right-of-way needed along Highway 287 and project number 8096. This is kind of on the north end of Loveland as I looked at the map. So there are two deeds of dedication in perpetuity, and again, it's to allow for access for right-of-way for road improvement work. Liquor licenses, there are two of those listed. Liquor license renewal, American Legion Post Home Association, George Beach Post number 4 in Fort Collins, license type club, approval and issuance. The second is liquor license renewal, Big S Enterprises, which is known as Gateway Liquors in Loveland, Colorado. License type is retail liquor store. Request is to approve and issue the license. Moving on, we have 25 miscellaneous items. Of those 25, 22 are stipulations for tax year 2023 value. And again, that's a quick reminder to folks. A stipulation is basically when someone has appealed their notice of valuation. We all remember I guess it's last year now, even though that's 2 days ago. But it's an agreement between the petitioner and the assessor's office on an agreed upon value as it's gone through the appeal process, including the Board of Equalization, the County Board of Equalization. So that's basically what a stipulation is. Sometimes when they can't work out something that both parties can agree to based on a reevaluation of the data, that the matter can be appealed to the state, the Board of Assessment of Appeals, and there can be a hearing. So that's, actually, I don't think I'm going to go through all of them. You can read about it. But there are 22 stipulations, and again, they pertain to properties and their values in property tax year 2023. The other three items on the miscellaneous agenda, one is a designation, excuse me, item number 11, a designation for 2024 CCI Steering Committee proxies. CCI is one of two statewide county organizations, Colorado Counties, Inc., and when the legislative session for 2024 will begin January 10th, and this is having a backup who can vote on proposals regarding whether to support legislation, monitor, oppose, seek to amend. And this one pertains to the following: designating Heather O'Hare, our Director of Human Services, to serve as a proxy to the CCI Health and Human Services Steering Committee, and Shane Atkinson, our Legislative Coordinator, as proxy to all other CCI steering committees for the 2024 calendar year. And again, normally I serve, we'll get into this soon, but I would serve as the commissioner who attends the CCI Health and Human Services Steering Committee's meetings, which typically occur on Fridays, and sometimes there are votes. If I'm not able to be present, it allows for Heather to be the backup, the proxy. The next item, there are two other items on miscellaneous. Adopting the enhancing of the conservation tax credit as a Larimer County legislative priority. Currently on the books in the state of Colorado, there's state law that allows for up to $45 million for conservation easements, and it's proven to be a good tool to protect open space and working farms and ranches. This legislative proposal will seek to increase that dollar amount from 45 to $75 million. And this item is for the record stating that this is a legislative priority for the Larimer County, and we'll work towards its passage and addressing any possible amendments. Finally, warranty memorandum for the Rudkin Planned Land Division, file number 21 LAND 4167. I'll leave it at that. The last part of the consent agenda is resolutions. The first one is resolution designating the public place in which notice is posted of meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. We have to do this every year, and what this resolution states, the content is in the consent agenda packet, is that we will post meetings on the website, on the county website. In the old days, that we used to do more of that on the bulletin boards, but times have changed if you've not noticed. The second resolution is a findings and resolution approving the Spears Administrative Special Review short-term rental. And the third is a, excuse me, findings and resolution denying the Kaiser short-term rental administrative special review. These are short-term rental applications. When there's concern in the community, it will be appealed, and it comes before the commissioners for deliberation and a decision. Those are all the items on the consent agenda. Commissioner Stevens, do you wish to comment or perhaps pull something off the agenda?
I don't have any further comments, and I don't want to pull anything off the consent agenda.
Did you offer the motion?
No, but happy to offer the motion. Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. I don't believe there's any further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. One excused. Next item on the agenda is commissioners' guests. We don't have any commissioners' guests signed up. We'll now move on to discussion items. There is one discussion item, and I believe our more than esteemed Public Affairs Director will lead the discussion.
I'll take that at the start of any meeting. Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning again. Happy New Year. It is my annual tradition on the first action-taking meeting of the year to sit with you to consider the division of responsibilities for the commissioners and the policy that goes along with it. As you two are well aware, there are many different boards and commissions and task force and whatnot that you are asked to liaison to and be a part of. And so in an effort to make the most of your time and coordinate schedules, you all agree to assigning different boards and commissions yourselves as liaisons to different boards and commissions, as well as committees for the legislative organizations we are a part of. One you already mentioned, Commissioner Kafalis, which is Colorado Counties Incorporated, CCI. In conjunction with that, you assign a proxy who can vote on your behalf. For our other two legislative groups, Colorado's Counties and Commissioners Acting Together, or we call it CCAT, as well as Colorado Communities for Climate Action, we call it CC4CA. There are committees there that you assign either commissioner liaisons to or staff liaisons to. We don't have any necessarily big changes to this year. You guys have been working hard with your boards and commissions and showed a willingness to stay with those boards and commissions to continue on their work. The same can be said for the legislative committees that you all have been serving as a liaison to. The biggest change, of course, the board chair is part of this policy, so that's a change as it is every single year. We've updated some staff liaisons. We always have either turnover through promotion or staff leaving the county. So we've had a few staff changes as well on this document, and we added for the first time this year the CC4CA staff liaisons to this document. But other than that, in terms of the liaisons that you all are serving, the commissioner liaisons, not much has changed for 2024. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Michelle. Well done. Commissioner Stevens, do you have any questions or comments, observations?
Yeah, just a few observations. So just for the public to understand that, so some of these boards are internal boards and commissions that we serve on. So, for example, Commissioner Cavallo serves as a liaison to the Agricultural Advisory Board. Others are external, outward-facing things, like some of the transportation things I serve on. Other. I'm trying to think of other examples, but like Commissioner Cavallo serves on the Red Feather Lakes Fire Protection Board. So this is a combination of both internal and external boards and commissions. And like Michelle said, in addition to that, there's the CCAT, CCI, some of the boards, some of the advocacy groups that, for county commissioners that we also serve on. So there are a lot of duties here listed out that we won't go through, but just wanted people to understand that this makes up a lot of the meetings that we attend on a weekly basis, and happy to do this work, both the internal and external work, because they both benefit the county. But as Michelle said, there weren't a lot of changes this year. I think we're settled into some of the roles that we play, and it's good to have that continuity. So happy to continue to serve in these roles. Thank you to Commissioner Cavallo and Commissioner Shattuck McNally for all the work that they do. All these lines represent hours and hours of meeting every week, but it's nice to see it in one chart. So thanks for your work. Thanks for helping us get this together, Michelle, and thanks, Commissioner.
Thanks, Commissioner. Lorinda, is there anything you'd like to add?
As I was reviewing this, I did realize that the Loveland Urban Renewal Authority is not listed like the DDAs, the Downtown Development Authorities are, and I think we should probably amend this list to continue to appoint Commissioner Shattuck McNally to that LURA board. So if whenever you make whatever motion, if it could include that amendment, that would be great.
Which item is that, Lorinda?
It's not listed on the sheet, so it should be listed, I think, on this. I'm sorry I didn't catch it earlier.
Thank you. And the only thing I'll add quickly is that, as has been stated, this is part of our responsibilities as county commissioners. And regarding boards and commissions, I believe there are something like 30 plus boards and commissions. There are an awful lot of a total of maybe 300 volunteers, and that's really critical to the operation of this organization, that folks engage and are participating. Most of the boards and commissions are advisory in nature. Some of them, for example, the Board of Health, are statutory in nature. So I think it's important to point that out. But otherwise, the overall intent of these boards and commissions is to provide us with feedback so that we can ultimately make informed decisions about things that we are doing here. So with that, and with the comments of our county manager, Commissioner Stevens, would you offer the motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Board of County Commissioners Division of Responsibilities Policy for 2024, adding that Commissioner Shattuck McNally will serve as the liaison to the Loveland Urban Renewal Authority Board.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0, one excused. That is all we have for discussion item. Thanks again, Michelle.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the county manager update. You're on, county manager.
Well, I don't have much to update. I appreciate having the week off. You all are very generous with your time and allowing us to take time off during the holidays as well. And I enjoyed quite a bit visiting with my grandchildren. So that is my report. Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Commissioner Stevens, how about you?
I don't have a lot to report, but I did want to just touch on a couple things that I was able to do before Christmas to sort of celebrate the season. I served the Christmas meal at the Fort Collins Rescue Mission. I was able to do that with my son, and it was very eye-opening. It certainly was showed the need that we have in our community, that we have a lot of people that are unhoused and experiencing homelessness, and they were very, very happy to have such a wonderful meal. Thank you to the staff at the Fort Collins Rescue Mission for making that night really special for the people who were staying there that night. There was prime rib and ham and all kinds of cookies. And it was just a really nice celebration, and but it really did highlight the need for a new facility. They had to eat in shifts. We couldn't fit all the people in one room at the same time, and it was still crowded even in shifts. So I'm looking forward to having that new facility built on North College soon. And then just had the opportunity to volunteer also at Crossroads Safe House. Many people know that's a shelter for people who've experienced domestic violence, and got to help kiddos pick out gifts for mom and help moms pick out gifts for kids, and sometimes moms pick out gifts for themselves. So that was a really nice way to experience the holidays, and grateful for their staff as well for keeping people safe in our community who have experienced domestic violence. And so wishing everybody a happy new year, and looking forward to a new year and new work with the county.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner. As has been stated, it was a quiet week for the most part. Grateful to spend time with family and at least one grandkid in person. There were two community-facing events that I participated. I was working from home mostly, but one was I got to visit with the medical officer out at the Behavioral Health Facility Longview campus, Dr. Leslie Brooks, and we had a really good discussion talking about consumer-directed care, making sure that persons with co-occurring mental health conditions and intellectual developmental disabilities are being, we'll be able to serve them properly, and a variety of other things. And then we took a walk around the Longview campus and got to see, there are folks that are being served there, and that was interesting. And also got to meet a bunch of the staff members. And one thing that I think is important to highlight, and that is met the supervisor who oversees, I think, a staff of about 9 folks who are peer support folks, people with lived experience who are now clinicians or working as counselors. And I think that's really important to point out that we do have folks on staff who've been through these things directly and have been impacted by these issues, and they're providing good input regarding the services that we provide out at the Longview campus. The second thing I attended was it was the first time in 3 years that they brought back the Northern Colorado International Hour for Peace at the Fort Collins Unity Church, and it starts at 5 a.m. You can imagine I was perky at 5 a.m., but they asked me to speak, and actually they asked me to, part of it was a tribute to Father Don Willett, who was the pastor at St. John the 23rd for about 12 years, from 2002 to 2011, and I knew him a bit, and we worked together on things. So I was able to speak, and I was glad to be there. It didn't allow me to stay up till midnight for New Year's Eve, since I had been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. I made it to 10 o'clock, and that's about it. Anyhow, that's all I have to share. Thank you for listening. At this time, will move into our executive session. We'll do a motion in a moment, but folks should know that this will be a real estate related matter. A decision is expected, and therefore, once we have our discussion in executive session, then we'll come back and consider a motion regarding this topic. So, with that, um, Commissioner Stevens, would you be kind enough to offer the motion to move us into executive session, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I move that this board go into executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6, 424A and B, purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real or personal property, and conferences with an attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on a specific legal question.
Thank you. That's a proper motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0, one excused. We'll now go into executive session, and then we will come back online to consider a decision. Thank you all very much for being here. Thanks for the folks who have listened in. I received at least one text message regarding the budget, and we'll consider all of the input. All right, we are back. We just concluded an executive session for a discussion regarding a real estate matter. At this time, we will ask our deputy county attorney, who could please identify yourself to give us a summary of that discussion and the direction we're heading.
Certainly. Good morning. David A. Rowe, Deputy Larimer County Attorney. We came out of the executive session where we addressed some negotiation and legal questions surrounding the purchase of property at 224 Canyon Avenue, Unit 120. Based on that information, there is a request that the board authorize two of the facilities staff to be able to operate on their behalf to conclude negotiations.
Thank you, David. Commissioner, any comments or questions? Then please offer the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to approve and authorize Jennifer Johnson and Ken Cooper to have authority to execute any real estate documents for the property located at 224 Canyon, Unit 120, on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners.
Thanks, Commissioner. That is a proper motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0, one excused. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. We have concluded our business today. So at 10:06 a.m., we are adjourned. Have a good day, everyone.